shit. Oh no. That was dumb. I think I messed up your bulb.
What did you say?
I messed up your bulb
Which bulb?
in this silver lamp.
Is it broken?
No. It just has.
Work?
It works. There's just plastic melted on it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm never gonna use those for something professional.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I should use it either. It's too bright, but not bright enough at the same time. Hi, my name's Amani. Welcome back to my channel. This is episode 2. And last episode I started a sketchbook and you guys got to see me struggle to get back into it. I started filming yesterday an idea I had, much in the same vein as the first one, but I tried to do a little more mental planning, and I probably should have done like some testers. I'm looking at it now and I could have bypassed a lot of mistakes if I had done some testers. I was struggling to figure out how much of my shadow should be covered and how much light should be covered and by what colors. And so it's ending up a little muddy, but I was working with gouache, and right now I'm trying to decide whether or not to do a couple more layers of gouache before I go in with colored pencil, or just try to start fixing it with colored pencil. But now that it's dried, I think I'm gonna go in with more gouache first. I did a little more off camera. My lighting was just getting really dark and I couldn't fix it. So today, I have a little more daylight on my hands and we'll get that started. Oh my gosh, y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. I let myself get caught up in other things today. And so when I came back to this, there's too many different ideas in my head and too many proportions off for me to like really appreciate where this is going, because I'm not really sure where it's going. And I'm trying really hard to trust the process, but I just don't like this at all. So there are two images that I'm looking at that are inspiring me, and I'm having a hard time bringing them together. Like, they made sense to me at first, but now it's just not. I do see a way for this to work, but I've got to start over because this is just not it. Let's start over. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, so in hindsight, I really wish I had continued my first attempt, because it's been a couple of days now, and looking back on it, it wasn't that bad. Like, I see where I could have pushed certain things to make it look somewhat like how I intended it to, but that's okay. We live and we learn, and this was not it. I spent like an hour on this drawing, and as you can see, like, there's a lot of emphasis on the shadows and highlights, and me trying to map them out. I made like this weird stylistic choice. But I thought this was the type of planning this drawing needed to look like how I envisioned it in my head, but this wasn't it either. And on top of that, for whatever reason, I couldn't get the gouache to lay like I normally apply it, which is watered down thin layers like vibrant watercolor. But for whatever reason, it was going on like it normally does, and it was basically like color or painting with acrylic paints, which is not my strongest suit, especially if I am not anticipating going into an illustration like this. So once I realized that was happening, I tried to do some like mixing on the paper, which made things muddy. And then I kind of pulled back from that, and I was like, okay, well, let me just do the colors like I was going to, but then they just weren't blending with each other. So I was like, well, let me establish some darks to contrast, and it just wasn't working. Like I said, it was getting more and more muddy, and it took me so long to finally realize that this wasn't going to work and to just give up. But I think what made me finally give up was I was losing the bones of the drawing. Like, I couldn't even see what I was doing. And you'll see here in a minute, I give up and I try to at least salvage the drawing underneath. So yeah, but this definitely made the pendulum swing on my last and final attempt, where I made things very simple and very planned out. Okay, y'all. I think this still counts as third time's the charm. This is gonna be so small. I realized that I'm not getting the effect that I want, because I envision the black, like I really like what the black is doing. Like, I really, really like it. And I'm not really getting any black in the image. Sorry this is shaking so much. Okay. But I'm not really getting the black. So I'm gonna ink it. I'm gonna do it in state. I just went to an art show, a printmaking art show, and it really brought me back to screen printing and block printing and all the layers that you have to put into it, the intentional layers that you have to put into it in order to come up with the image that you had in mind. It's a lot of planning, but once you finish it, I mean, it's just so beautiful, and the layers aren't always perfectly laid. I kind of like when they're like slightly askew and whatnot. So it just feels handmade, which I really like. And so I kind of want that effect with this image here. And so, and I'm remembering that one of my goals is just to, you know, have a more cartoony, or like a solidified style, so I don't have to draw it exactly how she looks, but exactly how my brain interprets her looking is just fine. All I really need to do is draw this enough that I have something to ink. And wait, I'm like trying not to make the same mistakes I did in the first drawing. Because this was kind of tough trying to figure out but hey, at least now you guys get to see how I sketch, kind of. But one thing's for sure, like I realized, like I need to get more loose, because I lost that looseness that I once had. Like there was one point where I literally was just cranking out drawings, like easy peasy. And now, not so much. Also, I don't know why I set the camera up like this. I wanted y'all to get a closer look, but it's obstructing my view a little bit. But we're gonna get it. It's not that bad. I'll figure it out. All right. Sometimes it's so difficult to just draw what you see. Her pupils drive me insane. Her eyes are so piercing that, yeah, if you draw the pupils even a sliver in the wrong spot, she looks cross-eyed. Oh gosh, I think the eyes are just... They're probably too big for this picture. Yeah, one day I'll just be able to freehand grab a micron and sketch up a beautiful portrait and or figure. But in the meantime, I will silently cry to myself. Yeah. I mean, this is just... I'm just wondering why this isn't getting easier as I do it to draw the same person. I mean, I guess it's getting a little easier. Like, this isn't taking me an hour. It's been almost 10 minutes and I have most of the drawing figured out, but still. I'm like, damn, am I over it? Am I over this whole process? I want it to be finishing up right now. It's almost 12:30 a.m. You know, I thought I'd be done. But lesson learned. I will definitely not get distracted next weekend, so I can actually have time to do this. Just gonna
Because this is just not it.
Okay, and this is it. This is the final product. I think it's simple but effective, and I can't wait to next week use this rendering technique on more looser drawings and more confident ideas. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys next week.